Hello everyone. We've had a bit of technical issues, but thank you for joining us this afternoon. So we have thanked God for today, and we pray that our discussion today may be fruitful and that we shall be able to improve something in our lives based on the information that we have shared today. So, ladies and gentlemen, what has happened during this last week? How was your week? On Monday, we had the privilege and the opportunity of discussing with the staff of AAR. Yes, it was a Zoom training, but I'm hoping that our discussion was fruitful and that it can enable us to improve a few aspects in our lives. So today, we are also looking at what has happened during this week. There has been a reminder by the central bank to the financial institutions to stop charging very high interest rates on loans, especially given that the central bank rate has reduced. So hopefully, as the months go by, borrowing can become more affordable, but please don't forget to borrow with a plan, to borrow carefully, and you borrow money that you can be able to use and pay back as planned. So another highlight from last week is okay, I had an interaction with at least 2 service providers, but I've also come to an observation that you guys, the level of service delivery is reducing at a very fast rate. I understand we are facing a number of challenges, COVID-19, and of course the challenges that have come up, both from getting input for the services to be provided, etc. But try your best not to compromise on quality. Otherwise, you're going to lose even the few customers that you have. And I'm hoping that the few people I interacted with during this week and we had this discussion will think about these issues and ultimately be able to improve on service delivery. Now you find that one of the key aspects that I needed us to highlight this week is that I had an interaction with one of the members that has been following Be Money Wiser for I think a period of 2 years. Now this gentleman had bought a piggy bank from us, and he was so excited to share with me his experience. So he opened it earlier this year when he was planning to pay school fees for his children. But he was so amazed as to how much money he found in that small piggy bank that most of us think is not necessary and possibly is a waste of time to keep money there. So like I always emphasize, value all money. So if it means getting yourself a piggy bank, get yourself one so that you are able to keep even the little money that over time can accumulate and make a difference in your life. Now the other aspect we keep emphasizing is carry this money to a supervised financial institution when it has accumulated, so that in there you can get other opportunities for you to grow your money more. Okay, now if we look at what we talked about last week, we emphasized the aspects of money mistakes, and you find that much as we may have made a few mistakes with our money in the past, it's very important that you pick up the pieces and going forward, you focus on planning and applying the knowledge that you got from the mistakes that you may have done in the past. So Yusuf, thank you so much for joining. Moses, thank you. Becky, I'm so glad to see you. And Twaha, thank you so much for joining. All right. Now today we are going to tackle a very interesting topic. And in brief, we can just call it a woman's money. A woman's money. Now, woman in itself as a word is broad, because we have women in rural areas, women in urban areas. We have women who are employed, unemployed, in the informal sector, formal sector. We also have women that are stay-home moms, single women, married women. You guys, we have a whole lot of different scenarios that we can look at when we are talking about a woman. But today, we shall focus on a woman in a relationship and some of the key aspects that women need to think about as they plan for their money. I hope that's an exciting topic, and we can also share some of our experiences and ask any questions as we go along with the discussion. So, a woman's money is the topic for today. Now, Matthew 25:29. I'm glad today is a Sunday, so let's go a bit into the scripture. Says, Matthew 25:29. For you who have a Bible nearby, you can also check. It says, "For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance." Are we together? Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. I like referring to this scripture because when I was younger, I used to think, even those who have little, the little can be taken from them. I used to think it was so unfair. But over time, I've got to dig deeper and understand it better, and I'm hoping our discussion today can also enrich our knowledge. Now, the question to all of us is, what do you have? As a woman out there, what do you have? Because remember, they are telling us, whatever you have, those who have more will be added more until they get an abundance. Those who have little, even the little they have, will be taken away from them. Are we together? Now, in the Bible too, there is a scripture that tells us about the talents, but I'm not going to enter into that for today. But I would like us to think about our lives as women, or as whoever is listening in today. When you're looking at what God blessed you with, the talents that you have, some of you have 2 talents, others have 5, others have 10, others have 20, depending on who you are as a person. God blessed us all differently, meaning we have different abilities. But the question to us today is, what are we doing with the abilities God gave us? That's the second question. Now, for most of us, are we even aware about our abilities? If you are aware, what are you doing to maximize those abilities? So that, if I refer back to the scripture we looked at, so that whatever we have can be increased until we have an abundance. Now, normally in a relationship, when a man meets a woman, or when a man decides to join with a woman into a relationship, not just an entanglement, but a relationship, you find that you bring the 2 talents one of you has, and possibly the 20 the other person has, and together you're trying to work a way forward for these children, for the little ones that you're putting on this planet. Basically, you bring your talents, you bring what God gave both of you together so that you can build this for the posterity of your family. Now, the key question to us is, what are we doing with what we have? And the question first is for you to analyze yourself as a woman. What do you have? What are you doing with what you have? Then together in the relationship, what are both of you putting on the table so that your family can be a success? Now, I remember in Be Money Wise, I was sharing with me a story this week about an engineer that was constructing a house for a lady. Now, yes, he knew this lady was with the husband, and of course, much as the lady was doing this project on her own, the engineer was aware that these 2 people are in a relationship, so this is an enterprising. Yes, an enterprising woman. So yeah, why not? He was working with her. But on the other hand, a few kilometers from the ladies' project, the man was setting up something. Now this gentleman was trying to see that he puts up like a structure for his family. Now, at some point, the gentleman's structure reached a point where he didn't have enough cement to construct. Now, this engineer, in his wisdom, tells this guy that, if you don't have enough cement, it's okay. Madam's project is nearby. Let us just go and get some cement from her project, and it can complement yours in the meantime. So the gentleman asked this engineer, which project are you talking about? Now, the engineer is the one that broke it down that, yeah, madam has is constructing a house, etc., etc. Now, the gentleman was so surprised. He was struggling to pull resources together. He was trying to put up this project, but secretly, the spouse was also putting up her own project without the awareness of the husband. And this was ultimately to the detriment of the relationship because it showed a high level of lack of trust. Now, where am I going with this story? We have reached a point in most of our relationships where we thrive on uncertainty, and most of the financial decisions that we make are in such a way that we are trying to protect ourselves from unforeseen, eventualities. We are living in assumptions of what if this happens, what if that happens, what if he maybe gets another wife, what if he dies, what if, and at the end of it all these what ifs have stopped us from planning together and putting our resources together so as to have a firm foundation for our families. Ladies and gentlemen, the first lesson for us today is resources are grown better in a relationship together. You pull whatever God gave the other person, add it to whatever this other person was blessed with, put your resources together to get a robust like group of talents, or a group of whatever it is you've decided to invest in. And when this is managed properly, you are able to build your resources and to build your families to the best of your abilities, and of course to the benefit of the members and more so the children. Remember, under Be Money Wiser, we are looking at how you can grow your resources from one generation to the next and the next. And one of the key things that will enable you to do this is to plan together as a family. So when we're talking about women who are in a relationship, there are a few scenarios I want us to look at. Now you find that some of us women are not working. You're stay-home moms. You stay at home, and possibly every day your husband or your spouse or your partner leaves you some money that you can use to survive that day. Now, this reminds me of a training that I did a couple of years back, where I was talking to women in the entertainment industry. Now, entertainment, I mean, there were actors, there were actresses, musicians and things of the sort. So one lady shared that, from the income that I receive, I do not see myself being able to save. So we try to break it down so that the rest of the group can benefit from her. Now, she further on explained that she was receiving only 10,000 shillings per day. Now, this 10,000 shillings per day was for her to buy day-to-day necessities for the home, like vegetables, food, things of that sort. So she was like, with that little money, how really do you expect me to save? Now, I tried to break it down for her. Okay, assuming you get 10,000 per day, how much is that in possibly a month that is 25, 30 days? So I asked her whether she gets this also over the weekend. She was like, yeah, every day, 30 days, we can use 30. So she calculated herself, and then she was like, what you mean in a month, this gentleman gives me 300,000? And I was like, yeah, that's 300,000. So she was like, oh my God, I can't even believe I was getting all that money in a period of 1 month. And when we broke it down to understand the concept of saving and how she can start at 10%, 20%, it hit her that, oh my goodness, I can actually save. This is ample money. In a month, if I can put aside 50,000 or 100,000, I can plan in the remaining balance of the money that I have. So you find that much as you think you're earning less as a woman, there is a lot more you can do to strategize and plan for the little you're earning. Now, in the same group, there were ladies who shared their experience that they were doing that. They were doing just that, saving money that you're receiving on a daily basis from your spouse. Now, from those savings, they were able to start small businesses. Small businesses, small businesses, like the grocery shops, etc. You know, small income, but it is your extra income that can enable you to add something on the table of your family. So as a woman, are you just on the receiving end? Are you just seated back there waiting for, oh, the man has not done this, oh, he has not provided this? Once in a while, if you continue planning wiser, you can be able to maximize even the little that you have and to grow it for you to be able to benefit from it in the long run. A second scenario is where you find that this one I would like to link it to the first one. In the scenario where the gentleman is providing close to 99% of the resources in the home, ladies, women, it is important for us to be supportive. It is important for us to understand the efforts that this gentleman goes through. In the recent past, the past 3 months since we entered into the COVID lockdown and all, it is reported that the number of domestic violence cases have gone up. You guys, let us support each other and communicate with each other. If someone is sacrificing to still put something on the table, especially during the hard times, it's very important that you who is staying at home, you're supportive. Even if he comes back on a given day with nothing to put on the table, it is okay. Just that little support and encouragement and discussion can enable this person to go back out there and try harder. But if the person comes back home to find regret, to find, intimidation, quarrels, etc., it makes this person lose the morale and the determination that they would have had to try again another day and basically move the family to the next level. So we need to support and encourage each other. We need to communicate and speak positivity into each other. Speak only positive. If you have negative things to say, keep them to yourself. Are we together? Sometimes we ladies, we project much further sometimes than the men. We see things even 5 years from today, But the gentleman is trying to plan for your well-being every single day. Try to speak positivity. Encourage this person, encourage each other, so that that encouragement can give the person the drive to go and bring back something to the table. So speak positive, speak encouragement, understand each other, and try to encourage each other to do something in that situation and improve the family's well-being. Now, the third aspect is reminding us women of some of the things that have been put out there for the past decade or more, for the past decade or so, that have encouraged us women to make a difference in our lives. Issues to do with women emancipation, women rights, etc. They have actually opened doors for women that we didn't have, possibly 10 years is so close, maybe 20, 30 years ago. You find that through some of these activists and NGOs efforts, we have been able to get the woman on a level playing field with a man. Now, the question to us as women is, how are we maximizing the opportunities and the doors that are opening up for us? Now, you find that in most cases, we cut ourselves short as women. We kind of think that, no, I can't do that, those things are for men, I didn't study, so I am not able to do this and that. We have those small excuses. If you didn't study, what is stopping you? Are we together? Go back and study. Improve your intellect. Improve your knowledge. Respect yourself. Know the standards. No one is going to set those standards for you. So maximize the opportunities that are out there. If you hear that possibly there is going to be a meeting for women, a program for women, and things of maximize those opportunities so that you are able to pull yourself up from the position that you're in. Now, it is very important for us to know that as you are maximizing those opportunities of emancipation, your income levels will increase to an extent. Now imagine a project where, let me say, your husband, your spouse needed to buy 100 bags of cement. And you, the woman in the home, in your small business, you've been able to put 10 bags of cement on the table from your income. That, however little it looks, it makes a difference. It brings on table a kind of encouragement and a support that can push the other person in the right direction. But what do we do in most cases? We are I don't want to call it stereotyping, but we are living in certain norms that do not take us anywhere. I think some of you have heard of this saying that a man's money is our money, a woman's money is her money. Ladies, that is for the 20 years ago, 30 years ago, possibly. But if we want to move ourselves to the next level, to survive and thrive, to have sufficient resources from our generation to the next and next, we need to work together. We need to work together with our spouses. I know some, especially the married, can say, oh yeah, you're talking about our spouses and all this business, but things are not easy. It's not that easy to work with them. Yes, it's not easy. Everything nice is not got easily. It's a sacrifice and it's an effort. So it is up to you to create that for yourselves. And if you believe in it, you can create it. Now from today, make it a point to try and believe it and make this an effort to move your family, to move your resources to the next level. I can see Peter, thank you so much for joining. Lynn, it's nice to see you. Kabahweza, nice to see you. And Paul, thank you for joining us today. Yes, Becky, I can see you. Okay, so women, ladies, if you are emancipated, show some emancipation in moving your family in the right direction. If you are able to work, once upon a time women were not working. They didn't have even a source of income. But now you cannot tell me a working lady who has a source of income cannot put something on the table to support her family. Her own family, her children, why not? And if you do it with grace, do it with happiness and do it willingly. Not to do it with this air of, oh my goodness, now look at this. My money, is going into this and that. No, that's not how we do it. Let's move our families to the next level by supporting each other. Now, the next aspect for us to think about is believe in your dreams. Women, believe that you can do it. Believe that you can achieve whatever you'd want to achieve. Whatever it is, you will achieve. But what do? Remember, I told you when you get into a relationship, God gave each of you talents. But some of you, when you enter relationships, you start hiding behind the man's talents. Does that make sense? You forget that even you can do something to make a difference in your home. Now, we need to get to search ourselves, to search what is that talent that God gave me that I can be good at. And there is no talent that is so small. It still makes a difference. Like I told you, 10 bags of cement, 5 bags of cement from you are still better than 0. So what is that talent that you can put on the table that can move your relationship to the next level? Pursue it. Sometimes your spouse may not even believe that, oh yeah, what you're pursuing makes sense or what. It is okay. You pursue what you believe in and request this person to support you along the way. And trust me, when it's successful, they'll also be there to celebrate with you. But the effort in achieving whatever you believe in always starts with you and believing in what you would want to put out there. So, what is it that you're dreaming for your life? Where can you start now for you to achieve it, and put in the effort until you have achieved it? Now, I would like to look at 2 scenarios of women. I'll start with the women who earn less than their spouses. This is normally the case, and much as you earn less, don't think that your little money is negligible. Still put something on the table, even 20%, and complement the 90% or 80% that your spouse is putting on the table. And remember, I'm talking to women in relationships. Some of us are in long-term relationships, but we behave like you are on a time bomb. Anytime this relationship may go wrong. So you want to keep your things to yourself, and your husband should do his things, his things for the family. No, guys, if you live your life with 1 foot in and 1 foot out, if you end up out, don't be surprised, because that may ultimately be the end. If you have decided to stay with this person, however happy or unhappy you are, you need to work things out and plan for your resources together until you are able to make a breakthrough. You guys, 2 heads are better than 1. I know that's oversaid and what, but let's put that into really this situation. Do you know how much work you can do if you plan with your spouse? Do you know how far your dreams can go if you sought insight from your spouse instead of hiding to do your own things? You do not want this person. Then why are you with the person? Don't waste each other's time. If you have decided to be with this person, be in it. And most cases, it's not about how much financial contribution you put on the table. In most cases, it's a 50-50 arrangement. Whether you put in 10% of finances, support in any project or in any money venture is not quantifiable. Peace of mind is not quantifiable. Encouragement, coming back home and someone is pushed into the right direction, of course positively, cannot be quantified. So whatever that you would want to venture into, do it together. Do it 50-50. And for the ladies that possibly would want to do their things in private, I think you're in the next category that I wanted to look at, the ladies who earn higher than the gentlemen. Sometimes you earn higher and especially ladies, I don't know, we live in so much fear that what if this guy, what if he does this or he does that? Will he look after my children? What if he gets another one? You guys, live in the moment, live in the now. Just trust God that things will be okay. But the one thing that you can have at the back of your mind is like having your legal framework in everything properly secured. What am I saying? Scared about putting property in both your names, like 50-50, like if you're scared about it and what would happen in case you're not there, in case you leave your kids, and all those theories you may have your legal documents ready, sign both of you, make it clear who the beneficiaries are, but as you run the project, work on it together. So the legal aspects and the legal framework in Uganda can easily help you maneuver in any of those positions that you may be skeptical about. So don't be scared, work together. Because for so many years, people have wasted time trying to do things on their own, and it has still led them nowhere. The families, if that was the case, then the women who are hiding things from the husband should be like the richest ladies in the world. But that doesn't take you anywhere. Take an example of possibly the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, and his wife. Working together, supporting each other, keeping their family together. The lady has ventured into a number of things with the support of the husband. The husband ran for president in times when America didn't even have a black president ever. But he was able to succeed because of the support of the woman. But most of us in our division in union, I call it division in union because you claim you're together, but everything is divided. And at the end of it all, it takes you nowhere. So think about that. And for the next woman who is earning higher, much as you're earning higher, yes, contribute higher. Especially if you're in a long-term relationship. If you're dating, people who are dating, I wouldn't really recommend that. But if you've signed up that this is the person I want to be with, you're married, you're this person's missus, you're in it. And if you're in it, do your part. Do your part and pray for the best. So support each other, have legal documentation for everything, know very well who your beneficiaries are, and at the end of it all, you'll be able to achieve more if you work together towards attaining more for your relationship. Now, finally, I would like to emphasize that I think a couple of weeks back, I talked about planning. And in money issues, even money in relationships, planning is key. You always have to plan. You always have to plan to make a difference in your financial lives. Meaning, you're projecting from where you are today. You're looking at 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. What do we want to achieve? So as you're doing this together, support each other. Basically plan together. If it is issues to do with budgeting for your home, budget together. But of course, as you're pulling resources together, there is always that budget you may leave for the person to do their personal things. Think about that too. Don't budget to the letter to make people suffocate in your budgets just because you're in the relationship. No, budget together, plan together, but give the other person a level of freedom to have some resources that they can use for their own activities, really. You don't expect your possibly wife to be asking all the time, I need money to buy this. I need... No. Personal things, you can always leave aside some money, but the joint budget to run the home on issues to do with food, utilities, etc., you can plan together. Then, some of us spend a lot of time in traffic jam. But it's amazing how so many couples look disgruntled and they are looking the other way. They don't even want to look at each other. You guys, that is time. Time is one of the biggest resources that we have, but most of us don't take it, don't maximize it. We take it for granted. Because you're so annoyed, you don't even want to look at this person for over 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And that is the time you would have maximized to think about life, to plan your projects together and maximize the time you would have wasted without positive gain for your life. So maximize all the time that you have to plan together for the future of your relationship and for your family. As long as you've decided to stay together, I don't care how the circumstances are, you've decided to be together. The rest of us see you together. We also encourage you to pray together. Like Mother Teresa said, I saw a clip today and I think it was really nice. Yes, a family that prays together stays together. This is also said all around, but think about it. Pray together, stay together, and plan together. Now that brings us to the end of our discussion today. Think about how you're planning for your finances in your relationship. Is it moving you in the right direction? If you're facing a few challenges on how to maneuver with planning for finances in your relationship, or maybe some of you are couples, you're planning to start a relationship with this person, but you've not yet concretized how to plan for your money together, it is okay. You can always contact us at Be Money Wiser and we schedule an appointment to break some of these issues down for you so that you can plan better. We of course remind you to still get access to the piggy banks and the eggy banks and improve on the way that you're planning for your little money. Don't waste any money. Save the money, accumulate it, and then plan something bigger and better for your life. Our Sunday talks are there every Sunday starting at 3 p.m. Apologies again for the technical hiccups that we had today. The internet was not stable, but yeah, at least we have been able to share something today, and hopefully we shall do more as the week as the subsequent weeks go on. Now, for those that would like to join our WhatsApp group and continue the discussion on planning for our money and improving our lives, you can always post your number in the comments so that we can be able to get back to you and take you through the process. Otherwise, thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for the support, and have a fruitful week. Don't forget to be mindful of the COVID-19 guidelines. Wash your hands, keep a social distance from people around you, and then also wear your mask. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, and God bless you all. May you have better relationships and plan better for your finances in your families. Thank you. Bye.